Can you just relax? It's just a stupid dinner, okay? It's not like he's gonna propose or anything. And you need to take my phone. I don't want your stupid phone. What is that gonna do? That's not gonna help me. You have to take my phone, Amanda. I mean, what happens if your phone rings or someone calls? You have to take it. No, you're not taking my phone. What are you gonna do? I put my personal stuff in there and I don't want you answering my calls. Continue, Amanda, you're some drug dealer or something. You have to take my phone. You're gonna make a mistake and you're gonna mix them up, and then what's gonna happen? Or just, you know what, when you get there, switch them off. That way, we're safe. How about that? Just calm down. It's not that bad.
Hey, what's up, Jerry here, and today I am just showing you something that's happening on my PC. As you can see, I just tried to open Blender right now, and this is the problem that I run across as I'm trying to work with the tutorial that I wanted to make on Blender about the same tutorial that I did previously in After Effects, because I'm thinking that sometimes the best way is to stick with one software that is available at your disposal at any time. That means if you are using Blender, you want to stick with Blender for pretty much everything that Blender can do, so that you can master Blender. And I mean, I listened to one of the videos that says that the guy who edited the movie, that Chinese film, what's the name of the movie? Parasite. Used the old PC and the old software in the PC to edit the movie Parasite, and he won an award for it in Hollywood. So sometimes the fact that you have a certain type of equipment or you don't have does not necessarily mean that you're going to do good or bad with that equipment. It doesn't really guarantee you anything, the fact that you have a better equipment. So that's the reason I wanted to make this tutorial. Sorry if you're hearing some noise again in the background, because my PC is kind of making noise. Yeah, but I just tried to open Blender right now, and this is what it says. And let's try to say okay, continue anyway, because of it looks like it's giving me that option that I might be able to work if I say okay. So I'm trying to see if I can work. That is one of the reasons sometimes, one of the reasons actually, that you see my Blender tutorials are not as many as they should be, because of not being able, you see, it just crashed and everything just disappeared because of my graphics card apparently does not currently support the Blender version that I'm trying to use. So let me just open Blender website and see if I can get, because I did try to do that yesterday and opened a new I tried to open Blender, and when you go to the download side of Blender, I think this is the long-term support, and it's Blender 3.6.2 LTS. That means long-term support. That means it's Blender that's been working for long. So I'm just opening as well this part of my apps that I have on my PC, just to see which Blender version I have. This one over here, it's 3.6.0. so I'm just going to try and upgrade from that one to this newer one. So it's actually downloading, and guys, and I want to say this, that if you want to support Blender, we need to do it, guys, so that, because Blender is free and it does pretty much everything. It comes with all the features, even though it's free, but it still comes with all the features that we need to use it for, except if you want to use some plugins to simplify certain processes and work that you want to do with Blender. But Blender is still free, and it's through the support of people like us who just want to support. You can see over here, you can use any of these to just donate to Blender, and you can change the amount. You see it says 50 there. You can keep, even if it's $5, guys, but something like that. You can just do that and just support Blender development. So it's currently downloading. I think my Wi-Fi is not one of the fastest, but it's doing pretty good, since they did how much, 25 megabytes per second. Yeah, it kind of works quicker. Yeah, so what I was saying, guys, is that since Blender has so many features that we can use, let's have a look at it. You can do rendering in Blender. That means creating 3D scenes, modeling, sculpting. You can do animation and rigging. You can story artist. This is like storyboarding. I don't know. Yeah, and then VFX shots. You can do pretty much anything. You know, simulation, fire. But probably on this part here, it's fire simulation, and then yeah, integration with multiple other external softwares that you can use for your production, and video editing. This is the most interesting part. And then let's see, sculpting and scripting. You can do scripting and develop whatever other extra features that you need, and then the interface is pretty good as well, so you can just customize it to the way you like. But what I wanted to say is when it comes to video editing, some of the basic tutorials are for free on the internet, where you can just use Blender for your video editing, and a lot. Let's see, yeah, it gives you all these options to use Blender for, and for VFX shots. So what I wanted to do, the motion tracking, composition, and there's quite a lot of things that you can do with Blender. If you remember on my channel, let me just open another tab. I'm gonna open quite a number of tabs. Yeah, this one is still downloading, which means my Wi-Fi is not that fast. So I just want to show you that on my channel there is a few tutorials that I did. Let's see. No, I don't want to go to YouTube Creator Studio. I just want to go back to let's see, just want to go back to the tutorials that I did in Blender. Yeah, for my channel. Yeah, I have like, these are the tutorials that I did in Blender, modeling, all these things, and yeah, stuff like that. And my 3D scene here, this the background here is a 3D scene, even though my what do you call it, let me just, I hope this audio is not gonna come out, but yeah, I just did this just to, I'm just gonna close the audio because I quite don't like the audio on this, especially if it's my video. So yeah, I did this 3D scene in Blender. I just designed this quick. I think it was a day's work, and even though my green screening was not that good, I just did it because of, I wanted to, yeah, to just show this other stuff that you can do in Blender. And Blender is very powerful when you know what to do with it, and this is what I want my channel to be about, to be more about Blender, even though of course I'm trying to see if putting other stuff other than Blender in the channel would work for you guys. And I'm hoping to upgrade my PC soon. That's why I'm not even shy to show you guys that it's very much slow, and it's crashing all the time when I'm trying to use Blender in it. So as soon as this is done, guys, I'm going to install Blender and see if it will open, because of the previous versions of it were just working, and then I don't know what happened to this last one. When did they upgrade it to the one that is no longer working? There's quite a lot of awesome stuff that done in Blender, like camera tracking over here. You can see that it's animation over here, and yeah. So let's see if I can go to the YouTube channel. But on the YouTube channel, a lot of time these days they're not doing tutorials, they're just sharing you the app with us the updates that they are currently working on Blender, like the newer features they are adding to Blender and stuff like that. It's mainly those stuff, not necessarily the tutorials and Blender at Annecy. So there's a lot of things that they're showing in Blender. Like you see now, new features overview, that's like 2 months ago, and I haven't even watched this one. That's how far back I've never used Blender, and my Blender version is quite an old one. You could see that it's quite an old one. So let me, I know it can't just stop when it's about to finish and start from scratch. Looks like it started from scratch. I don't know what's the reason for that, but yeah, my download just decided to stop. I don't know. Yeah. So yeah, I'm just going to, in the meantime, while it's still downloading, I have to uninstall this one. Let me just quickly uninstall this one in the meantime as well. In the future, do not show me this dialog here, because in most cases I know if I want to uninstall something or install it. So I'm just removing it, and then after this I'm just going, when this is done guys, I'm gonna install the other Blender, and then if it opens we're gonna work on something tonight. Cheers guys, see you later. Hey guys, what's up, I'm back. As you might have as you could remember, I don't know, I had Blender 3.6 something, and it kept crashing and it never recovered. Like I couldn't open Blender, so I'm just gonna close this one quickly. Oh sorry, let me just minimize that. This is Blender 3.6. I don't know exactly 3.6 what, but it's the latest version, the very latest version of Blender, currently on the 9th of September on the 6th of September 2023. So I'm just gonna open the older version of Blender that I'm currently using, and I want to see, because of when I open this one, it doesn't even give me that graphics card problem. When I started it was, but then it stopped, so thank God. Now when you open Blender, if you're going to do rotoscoping, as I've showed you on the previous video guys, we just go into, oh I did a rotoscoping, no something like that, but it's more like masking in Premiere Pro. So now we're doing it in Blender because of, let's say now you just want to use Blender and Blender only, and because Blender can do pretty much everything. You can see that up here you can do modeling, sculpting, UV editing, texture paint, shading, animation, rendering, composition, geometry nodes, and scripting. And on this is a 3D scene. If I would click, I'm just going to click around here. You can choose whatever you want to do here on this splash screen, but you can also just click on the side here and start doing the 3D modeling stuff. You can see that this is a 3D scene, and I'm just going to zoom out, and if you are using the 3D scene, you know that this is the default cube and the default lamp and the camera over here. So we're not going to use that. We're just going to come up here and go to VFX and masking, because it's a visual effect work doing the rotoscoping and masking, whatever. So what you're gonna do is also open the footage that you want to use, and I'm choosing from my short film identical, and I can't remember exactly which shot I want to use. I don't know, I'm gonna try this one over here. Let's have a look. We can still change it anytime. So what I usually suggest we do is, if you know the length of your clip, I'm just gonna try and see, I don't know how long is this clip, but normally the default, let's see, if you click over here, then there's no video. So the length of the clip, even here I don't see anything. Okay, so it's coming up to somewhere here. Let's say this is the end of the clip, so it's 141. So you're just gonna end it over here, 141, and that's where it ends. And this is your timeline over here, and then up here is what you can view. So the rest of this I don't need. Actually, I can close that, and close that, so I just have to have enough space. What I love about Blender, guys, it's so easy to just close tabs you don't need it. Like I can just close that, and it's not like other softwares where the workspace sometimes it's so hard to customize and do stuff. Here I just zoom in, you can see, I mean, like, and holding down middle mouse wheel and just moving around, you can just put your workspace wherever. So usually I would like to just play it and see. This one is just that apparently I took the clean background. That's nice. I didn't know that I have something like this, that where I don't have any character or any person on that, which is nice because it's giving me that clean plate. I remember that it's important to always have a clean plate where you do not have to let's see now, 53, let's take 60 and see. So I'm probably 60. I think she's not gonna move. Is the one that I used for the last part, so I'm not gonna use this one. I'm just sorry guys, I'm just trying to find the proper clip where she's moving so that we can do that. 53 was the right one. Let's have a look if I can go back, and I'm not sure how long is the 53. She's still walking. Okay, so she's gonna end here, because of here you can see that she was talking to the person who was giving our so if I hit O over here, usually I think it changes, but it doesn't apparently. So we're gonna go to this one and say 175, enter. So now this is where it ends. And one thing I want to remind you guys is that with Blender you gotta start saving your project every time. So let's see. So now I zoom in, it looks not so great, it still doesn't look so good because of, I don't like this double almost like double layer. But you can see that if I see the characters, I'm gonna try and do this with that, imagining that this is where the character is, not here, not this part here. I'm sorry guys if you can see that. Yeah, I'm not sure what causes that, and if you guys know what is the cause of this, because I don't think it's the video or anything that I'm doing. I think it's just Blender's just playing games with me here. Let me have a look under our I'm just gonna try and see under our video settings if there's anything that's not of a threshold. Let's see over here. These are the 3D stuff, so I don't know. 24 frames per second and temp. This is the export. This is the export settings, so I'm not exporting. I'm just trying to see if there's anything that is causing that. Because this is 100% on the region, 24 frames per second. Just trying to see if there's anything that is causing that, guys, because I totally don't get it. I don't know. Yeah, let's forget about that and just focus on work. So once you have your footage inside the software, yeah, like so, you just go into create a new mask here and name it whatever. Of course, that's the character's name, so that I'm masking, I just name it like that. And then when you hold down control and click, you get a point that's starting off where the masking is gonna go. So you just create the second one by holding again and clicking and moving it. So I just hold it down and I click and I move it. So you see, in order to get a direction, you just turn it. You can see that when you turn it, it follows whatever you do. So I'm moving it this way and then it goes that way, and then if I want it to go back, I pull it away. Then if I bring it closer, it becomes shorter, something like that. And then you keep moving. And the best way is never go outside your character's actual I would say the character shape. Yeah, don't go outside the shape. It will give you a lot of problems. So stick inside of the shape, and because of you don't want some weird stuff going on there. So I'm just gonna keep doing that. You see, it's not exactly the same way. It doesn't feel the same when you move it. It doesn't feel the same way as what Premiere Pro does, but you get a hang of it. Once you start using it often, you're gonna get a hang of it, and you're gonna go with the shape. So you can see that I'm not going outside here on these lines, because I don't really know if that is the size, the area that I should be taking or not. So I'm trying not to go outside as well on these ones here. I can see that it's the actual hair, and that's the thing about using masking, guys. Masking is not good because of the technology, like the AI tools that we get that automate these functions sometimes are better because of you can actually get it to separate it, even the smaller threads. But when you do it with masking, it doesn't really do that. But if the shot is just gonna be a quick movement, nobody would really notice that. So you keep going with that, something like that. So I'm just trying to show you guys. And when it comes to making this thing, let me just Control Z just to go back, and I don't want to put it out so much. I'm just gonna move this one back here. You see, you can just actually still move it around. So you also want to avoid moving. I don't know why I started here, guys. I don't know. I really don't know why. I was supposed to start at frame number 1. So I'm just gonna select everything, guys, and just exit out. Select everything and delete. I don't know why now. I've selected, and what's happening here? I don't know what I did here. What's this here? Okay, so I'm going to hit delete. I'm deleting everything, and I'm just gonna go to frame number 1, guys, because of I want to get a character, not that cut off thing. So I apologize about that, and now it looks perfect. You see, now we have on frame 1, and I can zoom in, and there's no bad stuff going on. So thank God I managed to come back here. So we're gonna go back, and I'm gonna start here. You hold down Control and create a point. Hold on Control, create a point, and like I said, when I said we were sticking with the being inside, you don't want to make a point outside here. So you're just gonna continue doing it within the character shape, something like that, so you avoid going outside. I think even in Photoshop, the best way is to do it that way. You don't want to have yourself take in some areas that are outside the color, because of it will show that color once you mess it up and go outside. On the hair, you could just do it a little bit because of the character anyways. She's going to be moving, and the background will pretty much be similar, but I would say that as a rule of thumb, avoid doing it. Avoid doing that. So you can reshape it. You can see that how I'm just now trying to reshape it so that it can follow the proper shape of the custom of the character's head and the forehead. I think you can see it's right here. Kind of feel like now I'm giving her a weird forehead here. So this, as much as I'm trying, it's gonna be a little bit far from the actual view of the camera. I mean, it's not gonna show as much, but you have to try and keep it as close as possible. So here you can just keep reshaping it the right way so that you don't struggle with it. So avoid making too many points. That's gonna give you a problem when you start animating them. when you start because we're gonna have to animate them manually. So if she moves her hand, I'm gonna have to adjust them as I go frame by frame. So in order for you not to have it too much to fiddle with too many stuff, avoid doing this. Just give it a little bit far point, so that you don't have to move too close points together. And again, while you're doing that, also the best thing to try and not to do is to not give it these curves and start going straight, because of it won't look natural, because of clothes are bent and they got some corners going around, and you want to have that type of realism in your shot. So you wanna follow that as much as you can. So I'm just going to take this one down and create another one here and just join them together. Now that you have done this, actually if you have done this, you could actually just get rid of the rest, but now because of the character is going to be moving and you want to animate the mask, you're going to select everything again and just give it a when you click on that, you are giving it a keyframing thing there. So that means it's going to be keyframed, so whatever you're moving, it's going to remember where it was before. So you have to save your work as you go. So I'm just going to override this one here, guys, because of that one was not properly done. So once you have done this, guys, here's the tough part, which is the best part. If your character is going to move just once in front of the other character, because remember that the frames is the same, so the only thing that we need to do is to move this lady over to this side, because of there's going to be a person sitting there, so we want her to pass in front of that person, which we couldn't do together because of the same person is playing the other person that's going to be sitting there. I don't know, I'll show you that. I think you saw it on the clip. Let me just yeah, something like that. So let's forget about it. I'll show you later on when I add the second clip. So what you're gonna do now that you have saved this, you're gonna go with the forward arrow. You see it now that she moves forward a bit, and then you're just gonna keep adjusting this. So this is what the actual work is gonna be. It's gonna be you adjusting her accordingly and moving her frame by frame, just like that. You see, as she goes, you have to keep adjusting so that she doesn't leave stuff behind. Something like here, she follows, this mask follows her around. That's what you're basically doing on this one. You just keep moving her with the mask, because of once you hit one, you see that the nose is starting to stay behind. So you're just gonna take this over here. Can you see that? And even here on the hand, you just go that. So if you go one frame back, you also want to adjust, because you might have missed that frame, because if I didn't move it on the previous frame, it might be wrong. So let's see, this one is fine. So we're gonna keep moving each frame. So I'm going to frame number 3, and you can see that the forehead is now forward, and the hands getting over here, and even here and here. We can just keep doing that, adjusting. We adjust, and we try to make sure that at the back here nothing stays outside. You see now, this is what basically masking is all about, guys, and this is what you do frame by frame. So as a visual effects artist, I don't know, planning on how you're going to do this type of shots is very important, because of it's going to decide whether you have to do this dead work or. And here's the thing, you see how I'm moving it one by one, but you can also remember what I did. I hit A and it selects everything, and then you can just move them all together at once, something like this. You can just move it together, provided they are moving just the same way. But in my case, they are not. Some of them I don't have to move, some I have to move. So that is why I'm doing this. So you're gonna do this each and every single frame. You see that here you are moving it, and you come here The nose, you're moving it again, you're moving it, something like so, and keep moving it for the hair. You're moving it for pretty much every part of her body that has changed, moved from one area to another. You keep doing that up until you are all the way through to the other side. So this is what you do. So like I said, you can just hit A, select everything and move everything forward, G, and then move it forward. And then when you are here, you can start adjusting the little bits that are still left behind. But if she's moving just like that, you just do that like that and keep moving it forward. And as you move it like that, remember that not everything's gonna keep moving the same way. Certain things might move and others stays behind, and you just have to remember that and do it accordingly. You see, so here you are doing it right, it's still okay. But now you see here, this one needs you to go slightly backwards, and so you see even here you still have to readjust this one because of you are now too far, and you keep doing that, and you go another frame forward, and can remember, can select everything, grab it and move it all forward, and start zooming in and looking at those areas that needs you to readjust. You see, like something like over here, it's now going outside, something like this. When you bring it back, yeah, you can try to do this. So it depends on how the budget of the movie. There is one of the things that decides this kind of situations is what do you have. If the budget is not enough for green screen and all this kind of stuff, you end up having to do this stuff, certain things like this manually. But if you had enough budget, you would probably set up a proper green screen and light up the scene properly, have enough people doing different things so that you don't have to go through this. So let's assume you have done this all the way to this frame here, which would probably take you a longer time than I did now. Now you are done. Control S, that's saving. Now you're gonna change your workspace to composition, and then in composition you're gonna click use nodes. That means you're gonna start using this. So because we are not rendering anything right now, you can just delete that X and Shift A. Input is gonna be a movie clip. So because you have opened the movie clip, it's gonna be somewhere here. If you didn't open it, you're gonna go here. But if you have opened it, I'm just gonna show you. You can click here, and then these are the clips. So 53 is the one that we use, I think. Yeah, it's the one that we used. So you're gonna do that, and you can actually feed it inside here. But and then again Shift A. If you wanted to see this, you're gonna Shift A, output, and viewer node. The viewer node, once you connect it, it's gonna show you that image. You see, the viewer node is showing you that image on the screen. But now we masked it, but we don't see the mask. That's because of we didn't add the mask. So before we do that, we're gonna add Shift A. Remember I told you that input again, movie clip. Now because the other clip that we want to use as a background, we never opened it, it won't appear on this one. These ones are the ones that we try to use, but they are almost the same as the same character, but we want the one with a different character. So you're gonna hit open and go to the area where the clips are. Downloads, these are downloads, these are not downloads. Yeah, here are the downloads. So the character that I'm looking for is this one over here, I think, where she's laying right here. So this is the character that I was looking for, and then we're gonna hit Shift A, color alpha over. Alpha over is gonna allow us to use one image at the bottom and one image at the top, and then the one at the bottom, I think, if I'm not wrong, is the one that's going to be, yeah, let's see this one. I know only this one, we don't have this. So and then this one is going to come on top here. I can't remember, I think so. Let's have a look. Once we feed it in, we want this one to be on top. You see this one is on top, but we feed it at the bottom one. I don't know why is that. Somebody else will tell us, probably, I don't know. So we just keep doing that, and then the next thing that we have to do is to add a mask so that it can remove these other parts. Shift A. Let's see. Now we are looking for the mask. The mask is on the input mask. So we're gonna add the mask, and we add the mask on here, and we're just gonna add the mask on the fact here, and we select that mask. So here we go. So the mask is added, and the character is removed. Here she is. You see now, she is now in front of the other character because of we did the mask pretty good, because of you can see now it shows that if we had to adjust, we could still go back to the mask and readjust it how we wanted to sit on her. Stuff that we think we are cutting off, and some of these points I think we can delete the point. If you have too many points and you can't control them properly, you can just delete something like that. So I just deleted one point there, and let's have a look. And yeah, I think I wanted to do something like this for the eyebrow, and you can go back to the composition, and you see now it's looking a little bit better, and we can just keep adjusting even here. Let's go to masking, and here by the hand we can just pull it back and see what happened once we pull it like so, and like so, slightly back. I think it's supposed to be something like this. And when you see that you have a point here that you want to delete that point so that you don't have too many points, and go back to composition, and it might adjust. Sometimes it doesn't update immediately, but you see as you go back, she has to go move backward. You can see, yeah. And then now what you are missing right now, because of you have added the character, and the next thing you may want to do is to control the feathering, and so that it doesn't look so sharp. You can see the edges are very sharp, and so you want to work with that and do some feathering, some other good stuff that will help it to become a little bit more. Let's see, Shift A. Let's see. Filter. Blur. If you add blur, it's not gonna. I'm just trying to remember that. How do you do the? Because of normally I know once you do the keying, you can just when you do the keying with green screen, there's all this pre-blur and stuff. Those are the stuff that will control the feathering distance. You see the feathering, and if it was that, and it would, but the problem is it would be keying. So if I didn't want to key, let's see, yeah, for keying it would, you'll have all these controls, but control X. But if you are not doing that, just trying to remember what are the proper. Let's have a look. So if you added a blur, but it would, the thing about blur, it would blur probably everything. It would blur everything, not just the edges. And what we wanted to do is to soften these edges. You see when I add blur, it's blurring pretty much everything here, and I don't want that because it's killing the texture on this. Yeah, but so I'm just gonna try to check what can we use to blur these areas, that's the edges. Yeah, when I do this, it's actually just blurring everything. Relax. Yeah, so control S. So right now we have our character, so but you can't quite see everything because of, let's just resize all these things. Shift A, distort, transform, or we can go to scale. I think there's a scale here. Just add that, and let's just make sure that everything is added, and then we just, so there we are. It scales everything. You see, let's just go to 0.6. Yeah, so this is the screen altogether. So you see now we created that. So once you move to one frame back, you can see there. Yeah, so that's what you do, guys, when you want to add a character in front of that character. So yeah, this is what you do if you wanted to add the other character in front of the other character. So what we have to figure out is to how to blur the edges here so that they look something like this one over here. You can see that that is blurred, but and also you can add a motion blur as well, so that when she moves there is some motion blur behind her and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, so I'll figure out what is it, which blur we add in order to get her to blur the, actually it's blurring even the forehead here. You can see that it's blurring everything. It's making it look a little bit more natural than what we did when we had a very sharp edges. So yeah, so you have to just move with the character all the way, and that is how she's gonna pass in front of this other character. Okay guys, now that we have created the mask, and I'm just gonna go to frame 1, and again I just wanted to note that the edges are super sharp. So like I said, we need to try and feather those the edges so that they can just blend nicer with the background, so that it doesn't really show that we are using that. So what we're going to add here is Shift A, filter, dilate and erode, filter, and then we're going to edit on the mask over here in front of the mask, and we're just going to go to feather, and then just increase that ever so slightly, and just check different frames on how it is. So if I move to frame number 2, it will update it with the feathering, and the feathering is there. You can see now it's a little bit better, but we can actually, if we take it to 3, let's have a look, and we move to 1 frame back just so that it can update, and we have a look at how it is. So yeah, so you can just use that to try and see if you can blend the, I put it up to 5 just to check. Yeah, I think I would rather have it slightly up. You see the hair starts to look a little bit blending better. Let me just do that. I forgot that I have to rescale it, and the scaling was disconnected, so I'm just gonna add this image over here, and then from here to here, and the scaling, yeah, the scaling is now slightly smaller, so you can see now that the edges are there and it's starting to blend a little bit better. And so it's up to you how you're going to keep tweaking that, whether 4 or 3 looks better to you. And also, if you look at it here, the bottom one is slightly up. You can see the bed over here, so you can just go back to the mask, and you will notice that the mask here doesn't really show why it's doing that, because the mask is not really inside. But let's just extend it a bit and go back to composition. If it does not, it could probably mean that the positioning of the other image is not quite matching with the other one, so that's why we have the space at the bottom. So you can just actually just take that image again and transform it, Shift A, distort, transform. So with this one, you can actually just move it based on the axis. So the x-axis would be back, or like forward or backward, and then the y-axis would be down and up. So let's have a look. Okay, I did one this way, so let's just move it roughly this much, and you can see that it's going up when I do that, and when I go do this, it goes down. So but the problem is that it's going outside of inside of the mask, so this doesn't really quite work. Control X, I'm just going to delete that. The best way to do this, it might just be to crop everything after the scale. You can just crop everything before or after the scale, so it's up to you what you want to do. And you can just crop this instead of 1920 by 1080 there, which is going to be the export settings. 1920, you can leave the export settings, but you can just crop it up here or scale it up a bit. Let's just scale it up, because maybe because of this 6 point, let's say 6.2 and 6.2. okay, it just scales everything. I'm not sure. Yeah, it scales everything, and it scales everything, which is kind of interesting. But I'm not sure why it's this part here like that. But yeah, that's what it is for now. Let's just leave it as that for now, because of if I scale, let me just see if I would just Shift D and just scale the top clip. Yeah, the thing is that it keeps it will change that. It needs you to work it out outside on the masking. If you work it out here, it would work better than if you're working it out there by its own in the composition. So you just have to work it out here. So you can see that now our character is right there in front of her sister in one frame. So that is that because of, even if you go to frame, let's see, let's go to frame number 5 and see frame 5. You see now she's on frame 5. Actually, frame 5, you see now there is some blur, and it's blending it a little bit better in front of her, so you can just move her that way in front of that. The thing about this is you also have to make sure that when the final output is good, it's not it's not shaky and stuff. So it's totally up to you what you find to be better, because of one of the ways, guys, you can do this is just to actually, what would even be better is not to mask everything, but to just mask hair in front and go with her up until here, and then only there you start adding the other masking behind her. It would be that, or masking her this way, this one, based on the shape of this one. So that means you create the mask on this one, and then when this one gets closer, you keep cutting on the other character, and when she goes back, you keep cutting her coming backwards. So you're cutting the pieces that she's hiding and you're leaving everything else. So those are the tricks you could do to make your mask look way better and sometimes even faster. So guys, see you in the next one. Cheers.
Can you just relax? It's just a stupid dinner, okay? It's not like he's gonna propose or anything. And you need to take my phone. I don't want your stupid phone. What is that gonna do? That's not gonna help me. You have to take my phone, Amanda. I mean, what happens if your phone rings or someone calls? You have to take it. No, you're not taking my phone. What are you gonna do? I put my personal stuff in there and I don't want you answering my calls. Continue, Amanda, you're some drug dealer or something. You have to take my phone. You're gonna make a mistake and you're gonna mix them up, and then what's gonna happen? Or just, you know what, when you get there, switch them both on. That way, we're safe. How about that? Just calm down. It's not that bad.